Stephen Price is the current principal of Lotus High School. So when I walked into Lotus High for the first time, I found a very demoralized teaching staff. I found learners who had very little hope and very little work ethic, and it was quite a shock to the system. My emotions were, the way I felt through that time was very much a up and down of emotions. At times I thought this was easy to do, and as I applied all my strategies and systems that I had developed at my previous school, it really didn't work very well at Lotus at all. And so some days I went home and I thought, why am I doing this? Other days I couldn't wait to get back to school and try something new. At one stage, I spoke to a fellow principal of mine. Her name is Chandra Otto, and she was the principal of Swanswyk High. I'd known her for several years. She was the deputy principal at Norman Hensherwood, and her daughter was at my school at Berkfield High. So I knew her quite well as a parent and as a colleague. And I sat down with her one day and I said, listen, I do not know how to motivate these children. You know, there's just no excellence to reward in the school. And I didn't know how to do that, you know. And she said, you can't reward excellence, you need to reward improvement. And that was a light bulb moment for myself. I realized that, you know, when my top 20 were scoring 90% and 80% at my previous school, my top 20 was starting at 60% and going down, and the top 20 were finishing in the 20% average. So that was my top 20 at the school. And I didn't know how to do it. And I suddenly realized that I could show appreciation for the improvement that these youngsters made. So if they came to school on time, I praised them. If they came to school wearing their uniform and their tie, I would praise them. If they came to school and stayed in class and produced some work, I praised them, and I got my teachers to do that as well. And in that way, we started to break down the barriers that existed with these children. I think the success stories about changing what we've done at Lotus it's not a single thing, it's a number of factors. I realized that after the first term, after trying all the strategies that I used to employ at Berkfield High School, I realized that the children at Lotus and the situation at Lotus didn't have a foundation on which to build. And so I had to go really, really back to basics. It was, everyone is at school at 8 o'clock. That door, that gate will be closed at 8 o'clock and no one is coming in. On the first day, there were 100 children outside and I had to turn them away. On the second day, there were about 40 children outside and I had to turn them away. Third day, there was about 12 children, and on the fourth day, I had no children outside and they were all inside. And that was the best. I had 376 children in the school at one go at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't believe my luck. Shortly after retiring, I was then invited to be the principal at Lotus. And I then told the local community on Facebook that that's what I was doing. And I said to them, if you want to help, then here's the way you can help. And I described several ways in which they could help me, by donating sports goods, by paying school fees, by helping us to pay school fees, to buy uniform for these children, and a number of ways. And that just opened the floodgates. And a lot of money came in, a lot of donations in kind came in. And we probably, in about 3 or 4 months, raised about almost 300,000 Rand in cash donations, and then probably another 400,000 Rands worth of goods. And so what we did was, I set out a plan to upgrade the facility. Western Cape Education Department's sort of vision is a quality education for every child, in every classroom, in every school throughout the province. And for me, that was something I could hang on to. We could deliver a quality education at Lotus High. We couldn't maybe deliver excellence, and we couldn't maybe deliver a world class, but certainly we could deliver quality. That was well within our grasp. And so I set about showing my teachers and showing my administrative staff, my maintenance staff, and my children, the children at the school, what quality looked like. Quality in your work, quality in your dress code, quality in what the school presented, quality in the cleanliness and maintenance of the school. And I started to set higher and higher standards, greater expectations, greater success. And certainly what I did was, during the December holidays, I took that money that we had raised, that has been donated, and for 30 days, I worked solidly at that school. I took 2 days off, Christmas and New Year, Christmas and Boxing Day, and two days in New Year and Tweede Nuwe Jaar. And I worked solidly with the local service providers to deliver a school of excellence or school of quality. And we revamped the classrooms, the corridors of the classrooms. We put tiling in, we painted the doors. We were using chalkboards. I hadn't used a chalkboard for 25 years. I put in whiteboards into the school. Staff members had bought their own data projectors. They would carry their data projectors to school, their marking in one hand and a data projector in the other. And we bought more data projectors into the school. And if you came to our school and you went to the bathroom, I was just mortified that you would actually go to the bathroom in my school. It was terrible. And we revamped all our bathrooms, our front offices, our staff room was abysmal. No one sat in the staff room. It was filthy. It was unpleasant. It was... And the first thing I said to the staff, I said, when I leave here in 6 months' time, you will have a brand new staff room. And when they arrived on when they came back to school this year, one lady, one of my staff members, lay on the floor and she just did a little star thing and screamed at the beautifulness of the staff room. And now my staff are in that staff room. They're sitting around the tables, they're fellowshipping with one another, they're talking to one another. And that made a big difference. And that was delivering quality to my teachers. When I show them what quality is, then they go to the classroom and deliver quality. When I show my children what quality looks like, that's what I expect from them. When I show my parents, when they come to the school and they see the improvements, I say to them, I managed to do that with the help of the community, but we can't rely on the community forever to give us this money. You know, Lotus High is now not going to suddenly just get more money next year and more money next year. And so what we did was, I said to the parents, you need to contribute as well. And this year, we got the parents to start contributing and committing to paying school fees in a better way. People say, why did you do it? You know, there was no reason for me to go. And some people actually said, you know, you might have damaged your reputation and all that. And for me, I still had something, at 65 years old, I still felt I had something to give. I felt I was worth another 5 years before I got too old and doddery. But it was a professional responsibility of mine, which I feel I left school wanting to become a teacher. I've spent a 40-year career in teaching. It's my professional responsibility not to walk away from a school that needs me and needs my input. But I've learned so much. I've realized that even though I thought I knew what these kids went through every day at home in terms of sub-economic, I had very little idea. Some of these kids, they come to school, they cause me such trouble. They are naughty at school, they bunk classes, but they come to school every day, and I couldn't understand that. And what I learned from them is that they came to school because it was the safest place for them. And it was my job not to kick them out. It was my job to try and find a way to keep them there. It's not always easy. And it certainly is part of my journey. I serve a God of second chances who gave me many chances in my life. It was my birthday the other day, and the learners wrote to me and they said, "Sir, when you arrived at the school, we didn't think you were going to last very long. But you stayed, and now we have the best school in the whole world." Now that's their world, and for me, that said to me, when I got that little note from them last week, I thought, right, I'm in the right place, and I'm doing the right thing, and even though sometimes I can't see progress, there is progress happening. The one young lady, she had no shoes, and I know that someone had donated shoes. And I said, go to my secretary, she's got something for you. And she went there and she got this pair of shoes, and she came running into my office and she put her arms around me and she thanked me profusely for a pair of shoes, which were second-hand at best. And this young lady, from a very, very, very dodgy area and home, she calls me Pa every day. She doesn't call me Sir or Mr. Price, she calls me Pa, because it was a connection that she felt that I had noticed that she had no shoes, and we had been given some shoes and we could do something about it. And I think this translates to my personal journey. Jesus in his time talked about the signs and wonders that he put out there for people to see the kingdom of God, and not many people saw that. And in my time, in my life, I can look back and see all the people that God put in my life who were my signposts along the way, people that he put on my journey to influence my life or to change direction. And some of those signposts I followed, and others I ignored. And I made those personal choices, and off I went. And now that I've come to the latter part of my career, and I look back and I said to myself, if it wasn't for all those people, the people that I followed and listened to what their guidance and input into my life, and the people that I ignored, because even though I ignored them, I still learned a lesson out of that. And that I can be a signpost for these youngsters at Lotus High.
Besoek YouTube en tik in God se krag in my krisis. Subscribe tot ons gratis kanaal vir nog stories van hoop.